Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Cattle. I'm Judd Cullers of Heritage Cattle Company, and again, it's certainly a privilege just to have you tune in with us and enjoy another segment of Let's Talk Cattle. A few things that I would like to address before we get into the big part of our program tonight is some questions that were conveyed to me through email or telephone calls based on our last segment, and I'd just like to address them at this time. The first is, Mr. Cullers, at what age do you start halter breaking your heifers? And that is sent in from Matthew Mason. And Matthew, I appreciate that question. Really, the earlier the better. Generally what we do is we bring our cow and calves in and separate them for about 2 hours a day. Those calves are between 2 and 3 months old, sometimes 4 months old. And then we actually gentle those calves in a chute before we ever put a halter on them. So once we start kind of develop a relationship with those young calves and they trust us, it makes it so much easier to slip a halter on and tie them up. They're not frightened to begin with, and there's a lot less likelihood of them hurting themselves. So the earlier the better would be an answer to that question. And then if I can help you further, we'll certainly give me a call and we'll try to work with you one-on-one. The next one is from one of the breeders in Louisiana, Adam Baraloo, and he was asking about our tests that we have going on. So the Team Heritage performance test that we have going on right now, it does involve the fall-born calves, September, October, November. That test is currently underway. And so the question was, are we going to have another one? And the answer to that is yes. We will be starting our second test in October. These will be for spring-born calves that were born January, February, March, April, and May. And if you'll go to my website at heritagecattle.com, right on the toolbar there, it'll say Team Heritage. The submission forms are there. You can fill those out. Let me know what you have, and we'll be in contact with you, and we'll come inspect the animals, and then we'll try to get you involved in that second test. So I think just as soon as possible, if you've got some ideas and you want to be a part of that second test starting in October, go ahead and at least let me know that so that we can kind of count heads and make sure we have space available. I had a great week last week. I was down in Ecuador doing some work down there for ranches, and it's just amazing for me to see how well the American genetics are represented there in Ecuador. So tonight it's really an honor for me to have with us Mr. Stuart Watkins from Welsh, Louisiana. Those of you in the Brahman industry very familiar with Stuart and his family, the Watkins family, owning Watkins Cattle Company there in Welsh. They produce both red and gray Brahman cattle. Certainly a big contender in the show ring, as well as just producing some remarkable replacement females and bulls. And Stuart is one that's kind of grown up in our junior program, which is sort of our focus tonight as we talk about the Brahman Foundation. He is a graduate from Louisiana State University, where he was also the president of LSU. And I've watched this young man grow up, been a big fan of his for a long time. So it's really an honor for me to have him here on Let's Talk Cattle, and I want to welcome Stuart to tonight's show. Appreciate you being here with us. The Brahman Association is really good about giving back.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I'm just a big fan of right now is this Brahman Foundation, and I guess it's probably been in existence 2 or 3 years, Stuart. Is
We're
that
going on
right?
our second year now.
Second year
since we've kind of come together.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about kind of the startup of it. Stuart's one of the directors of the Brahman Foundation, and just fortunate enough that he was passing through Hungerford and was able to kind of intercept him and draw him in for our segment tonight. But if you'll give us some history about kind of, how it started and some of the things you guys do, it's amazing, and then maybe some direction about the future of what you'd like to see done.
Well, first, Judd, thank you for allowing me to come down to what is the Brahman capital of the world down here in Hungerford. I never pass up the chance to come down here and look at some great Brahman cattle, and then also see so many friends when I'm in the area. You really hit the nail on the head when he said that the Brahman Association and Brahman people are very giving. And I think that it is such a common theme with the Brahman Foundation, and it's really was an opportunity to get a lot of breeders and a lot of Brahman enthusiasts together and say, what can we do if we are to raise a substantial amount of money, and what kind of resources can we put back into the breed in a lot of different ways. Carlos Guerra kind of had the thought process of let's start fundraising and really focus on the juniors within the organization. And then from there, we've decided to really take it 2 and 3 steps further, and let's fund great Brahman programs, whether that be research, whether that be anything that would improve the breed or benefit breeders in a great way. And I think our breed of cattle will be stronger if we can pull our resources together and really better every breeder that comes through. New breeders, old breeders, however, but we've got to have some great resources and some great programs for our future to really grasp and latch onto.
And I guess what really attracts me to the Brahman Foundation is that, so many times when we do anything as a breed association, it really kind of ends up focusing on the show ring, right? And these guys have taken it up a notch and are doing some educational things for our youth. That last summer y'all did something in College Station, right?
Absolutely. So now once a year we host a leadership camp where we take young people that are being brought up through AJBA, the American Junior Brahman Association, and we put them through a several-day kind of information seminar that's usually hosted at a university. So last year we did this at Texas A&M. This year it's going to be held in July at Mississippi State University.
Cool.
So really giving the opportunity for those AJBA members that might live kind of in the deep south and the southeast, a university and a program that's a little bit closer and kind of right at their back door. But it is open to every AJBA member, and the deadline has passed. We're currently going through those applicants now, and we're really excited. Dr. Brandy Karish over at Mississippi State University has really been taking point on that particular program, and her team have really planned out about 3-day conference that it's going to be a great opportunity for young people.
Well, I love that, because I think that the education portion of this breed and what the Brahman Foundation is doing is certainly going to provide a nucleus for breeders for years to come, and just those that are interested in agriculture as a whole. Kind of going back to the show ring, you guys have a pretty big presence at the All-American too.
We do. So we put in about $30,000 of foundation money into the annual AJBA All-American, which is the National Junior Brahman Show. A good portion of that goes to scholarships. Last year, every graduating senior that applied for a scholarship was awarded one. I think that was the first time in Brahman history that happened. And Judd, you've raised 3 daughters. My parents raised us through the program. And what a great way for us to give back. I don't only think that awards young people for their time and their commitment associated with Brahman cattle, but it's also awards those parents who have sacrificed so much, not only to bring up their children through the AJBA, but then also, encourage their involvement, going to college and then helping them cover some major expenses through that.
Yeah, amen to that.
It awards both, in my opinion, young people and their parents, no doubt. No doubt.
Well, that's just good. I mean, I commend you guys for doing it. I know that y'all you meet. I mean, look, folks, this doesn't just happen overnight. Do you have monthly meetings, bi-monthly meetings?
We meet now quarterly, consistently.
Quarterly meetings.
And as needed, really, as needed.
Yeah.
We're on a group text just about every day, getting stuff taken care of. So, and that's one of the things that I've enjoyed so much about the Brahman Foundation it is a small group of people that are movers and shakers.
That's right.
And if I could speak to the group as a whole, it's been such a blessing to be a part of that group, because we are in this to make this successful.
Mm-hmm.
We are in this to better the Brahman breed in the best way possible, and we're not going to fail.
Right.
And when you
Right.
think about the people that sit on our board,
Yes.
It's
Yes.
people who are very successful at not only breeding Brahman cattle, but a lot of the business ventures that they're in. And so it's been such a productive use, I know, of my time to sit on a board like this. And I think that's what I've enjoyed so much, is just learning with the rest of the group and then advancing the breed in any way we can. There's so many ways now in which, now that we're established, we really want to start getting more and more people involved through either donations or just volunteering their time. One thing that I talk to Judd about pretty regularly is just that source of knowledge. If you are a breeder that's been in this deal for so long, like, we want you to be a part of the Brahman Foundation. Not only do we need your genetics to help raise that great fund every single year, but we need your knowledge, and we need your feedback, and we need your advice, because that's the only way we're going to get better.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to get better.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to participate. And again, I didn't know what all it took to be a part of the Brahman Foundation. Here at Heritage Cattle, we always award 2 scholarships every year to the National Junior Brahman Show. And so we earmarked the heifer 919 over a 6 during our last sale, and we're giving a percentage back to the Brahman Foundation. And we just want to be a part of this thing. So, those of you out there listening, if you're always wondering, well, what can I do? I don't have time to go make these meetings and do the things that I'd like to do. They'll take your money, okay? And it's going for a very good cause. And it's a cause that I believe in, and obviously Stuart does as well. And so, Stuart, as we look forward into the future of the Brahman Foundation, what are some things that you have on your mind or on the committee's mind that you want to do?
So our next biggest thing will be the All-American. And at that particular show, we will put in a little more than $30,000 to either scholarships or funding actual contests or showmanship. That's a big focus of ours. Then we'll go into the AJBA Leadership Conference. Where we pretty much split the cost with AJBA on that. And like I mentioned earlier, that'll take place in July at Mississippi State University. For me personally, I enjoy good fellowship that takes place in the Brahman breed, and that's one of the things that I really want the Brahman Foundation to be a part of is just getting people together and having a really great time. So the Friday evening of the Kickoff Classic, we are going to host a social that's open to everyone, and the Doucette families and several other families have come together, and they're going to cook a pretty large meal that evening. Everyone's invited. It'll be very, very good food. And we don't ask you to donate or do anything there. It's just a time for us to just be together.
Now, you're talking about Danny Doucette.
Yes, Danny Doucette.
Danny Doucette can cook some food, y'all.
He can cook some really good food. Yeah. And so we're just so lucky to have them and them be a part of the Brahman Foundation in that way. We're also working on at the Kickoff Classic of doing a carcass scanning, not a contest, but just offering the service for anybody that shows up at the Kickoff Classic with cattle. They can run those show cattle through there. They can get good carcass data on those animals. And again, it's about providing great resources to breeders, and that's what we want the Brahman Foundation to be a big part of. And so why not we give that resource to these breeders at a show?
Absolutely.
And so we're working through the logistics of that right now. The Beckers have been such a great help to us. They run the Kickoff Classic. It's the second largest show in the United States, and they were basically like, whatever you would like to do that's going to make this show a better show, we're all for it. And so we cannot thank them enough. As we move into the fall months, I'm in charge of getting together sale lots for our December Funding the Future 3 sale. I'm very, very excited about that because last year's sale was just a huge success.
It really was.
I mean, there's such a demand for Brahman cattle and Brahman genetics throughout the industry. And so if you're a breeder and you feel like you have something that would be extra special for our sale, don't hesitate to reach out to me or anybody on the board and let us know. It takes all kinds of lots to raise money and make this foundation work. And so we would love to entertain any ideas possible. And you'll be seeing through the Brahman Journal, who's one of our main sponsors throughout the year, getting great information out. on how you can get involved with our sale.
Terrific. Well, look forward to that. There's no doubt there'll be some good lots donated and some great lots that you can pick up on and buy for yourself and put into your own program. Stuart, I'm not going to let you get away without talking about one thing. This guy right here raised a bull called Maximus. And if you're looking for a beefy red Brahman bull to cross with Winchester bloodlines, to cross with Passport bloodlines, any of the big bloodlines that are out there, and I'm talking about not in the United States, but internationally as well. He's got one of the beefiest, thickest red Brahman bulls that I've seen, and he is crossing tremendously for lots and lots of people out there. Maximus, what's his number?
He's 82 over 4.
Tell me about him real quick.
He was kind of an accident. We did, when I graduated from high school and then throughout college, I told Dad that I wanted to really focus on a small group of red cows that would just be a little bit different and would definitely be our own. And Max and Shirley Watts sold me a tremendous cow that was branded 335, and I have literally built an entire red program around that one cow. And I think
did some winning for you, didn't she?
Oh, actually, that was a different one.
Okay. I remember you had a good one.
This cow we never showed, but just, I mean, she is the matriarch of our red program. She went into the Register of Renown after her first flush.
Oh, wow.
Her first natural
That's hard to do.
Her first natural calf was the national champion 2014, and she just is a special cow to me for a lot of reasons. But I think when we talk about the Maximus bull, you really look at the maternal lines, and that cow's mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother have a tremendous just production record for what was tic-tac-toe,
right,
and now for my herd.
Yeah.
That bull was a mistake. We did a reverse sort IVF flush, and we had 5 heifers come out, and then he was just an accident. And so it's funny.
Good accident.
Yeah, very, very good accident. And it's funny how, because we really enjoy producing females in great quantity at Watkins Cattle, and that's what we really focused on, is looking at just cow families and then incorporating that into our own program. And so we're focused on females, but I guess God works in mysterious ways, and we had this Maximus 82 over 4 bull. The thing that I've enjoyed most about this bull is his demand in the commercial market. We have sold a lot of semen to various aspects of the industry, and those commercial guys, they know what's up.
Oh, absolutely.
To see that kind of demand, no offense on a red Brahman bull, has been interesting and a really exciting thing to be a part of.
Awesome stuff. Is semen available on this
semen
bull?
Is
packages?
Available. Yes,
how do you do that? How do you market the bull?
We do packages here in the United States. 5 straws for $500.
Fair enough.
Additional certificates for $50 a straw. Internationally, his semen's approved right now for everywhere but Australia, and that's going to be $60 a straw. Australia will have their chance to buy in on some semen packages in October of this year. It's my goal to go down to Brahman Week. We have a lot of friends in Australia. We love the Australian cattlemen. And it's our goal to get semen there in the very, very near future.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for being here with us, and God bless, and have a great trip back to Austin tonight.
Thank you, Judd. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.